Hello, and welcome back to the RPG Stat series. This is probably going to be the last video, and it's going to be a relatively short one. In the previous video I said that there was one last thing that I wanted to do in the system, and that is implementing the RemoveModifiersFromSource method and implementing the StatModifierMatch struct, which is something that will help us remove modifiers according to a filter that we can specify. So let's get to it. StatModifierMatch will be a read-only struct, and it needs to implement iEquatable. But we don't want it to be equatable to itself, we want to compare it to stat modifiers. The equals method will receive a modifier, and we will return true if we want that modifier to be removed from the stat. The way that I want this to work is that we can specify either a value, a type, or a source, or any combination of those three, and only modifiers with those specific values will be removed. In order to do that, we'll create another struct. I'll just call it value container. This will be a generic struct, and it will hold two variables. A variable of the generic type t, and a bool to indicate whether it has a value or not. In hindsight, I think I could probably have used the nullable notation instead. I might change this in the GitHub repository, but I probably won't make a video about it if I do. But in this video, this is what we're going with. We can also implement in this struct an implicit conversion from type t to a value container of type t, and this just makes the declaration a lot smoother, since we can have, for example, a value container float and assign a float value directly into it without having to explicitly instantiate a new struct. For the constructor of StatModifierMatch, we just declare every parameter as optional, and in the equals method, we check each variable to see if it has a value, and if it does, we compare it to the corresponding value in the modifier. Otherwise, it doesn't factor into the comparison at all. And now, back in the stat class, implementing RemoveModifiersFromSource becomes trivial. All we have to do is call RemoveAllModifiers and pass a new StatModifierMatch struct with a source parameter. And that's it, that's all of the code for the RPG stat system. I've also made the whole codebase publicly available on GitHub, which you might have already seen from the last video, and I also spent a bit of time writing the documentation for it. Hopefully that clarifies anything that may not have been covered by these videos, but if you still have any questions or something doesn't make sense or seems wrong, don't hesitate to drop a comment down below or join our Discord and drop questions in there as well. I'll do my best to answer whenever I can to the best of my ability. So other than that, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.